Before I call a member, I'd just like to make a quick ruling. Members on both sides earlier in Mr O'Rourke's speech looked to me when he indicated that he felt that members, one member in particular and possibly one earlier, were not telling the truth. And members looked to me to intervene at that stage. I do want to make it clear that if the member thought that someone was deliberately not telling the truth, and it would be a contempt of the Parliament and a breach of privilege under Standing Order 410B. Now, the member did not use the word deliberately. He say this carefully. He didn't indicate that the members knew what they were actually, or that they were saying an action was deliberate. If it was not deliberate and someone was mistakenly indicating something and the member was pointing out what they're saying is not true, that is not a breach of privilege and it's not something that should be interrupted. It is debating matter.
E te mana whakawā.
Not Karako.
Kia ora e te mana whakawā. Sir, it's my pleasure to take a call on the Riccarton Racecourse Development Enabling Bill and the Riccarton Racecourse Bill. Sir, as someone that's quite new in this House, it's really interesting to watch the dynamics on both sides. You've got an agreement here, it seems, that we're all agreeing to pass this bill. But it's actually on the opposition side, sir, it's all about that, but the interesting dynamic there is that it's not actually acknowledging a lot of the really good things about this bill, the journey that the bill has taken, sir, to get to this particular point. And when we look on this side of the House, sir, the government, I know everyone has a job to do, in opposition and also in government. But here, sir, on this side of the House, I would say, compared to the other side is a kind of, after all that was said and done, sir, there was more said than done. Whereas on this side of the House, sir, there is indeed a lot of things that have actually happened, and particularly around the Christchurch rebuild. Because when we looked at, sir, the emergency, the recovery, the rebuild, and then what we're in now, sir, which is the regeneration phase. And when we look at the incredible amount of money, sir, that is being dedicated to the Christchurch rebuild, we're talking $17 billion. So in thinking about that, sir, it is indeed this type of bill has actually been the catalyst to actually address so much of around the rebuild of Christchurch. So when we come to this bill, sir, the interesting thing, the important thing about it, is that it really does pave the way. It really does pave the way, sir, for a really exciting and a really dynamic housing development. And the dynamics within this one was actually about the fact is that we had collaboration here, sir, and we had goodwill. And that collaboration was between the government, it was between the Christchurch City Council, it was between Ngāi Tahu as well, sir, and also the Riccarton Racecourse. And when we look at the goodwill factor, sir, it is about Ngāi Tahu in a lot of ways, because it was their goodwill, sir, in the fact of the RFR. And when we look at the right of first refusal, they waived it in this particular case. And the reason for it, sir, is because they could see the immense opportunity that this would bring. Because we talk about, in this bill, we talk about land trapped in ancient history. And this actually, not so ancient, I suppose, in 1878. But this was an opportunity, sir, for us, for Ngāi Tahu, to look at this and say, look, here's a great opportunity. Because when you look at our land, sir, Maori freehold land, Maori land, it's actually locked in, that is ancient history, sir. But when they saw the opportunity for this incredible development to happen, well, then they took it. So it was, sir, I can remember the Honourable Nick Smith coming to Ngāi Tahu, sir, back in 2009. And there was talk then, sir, of how we could actually use our RFR to be able to instigate some better use of our land, through the laws that were available. So this bill actually really does it. And the thing about it, sir, is that it's unique in the fact is that it's probably one of the first developments that we've had the opportunity to have really true partnership in, but it also is a bill, sir, where it's unique because we can actually include in this, as the bill is saying, is that we can include affordable housing. This is the beginning, sir, of affordable housing, the use of land, sir, that was tied up in legislation. So it releases all of that, sir, so that everyone can actually utilise this type of land, sir, for the benefit of the people. And when we look at this, it's about the benefit of the people of Christchurch, it's about the benefit of the iwi, and it's about sort of the benefit of racegoers and all of that. So, sir, just to conclude, is that this bill here, it's a very principled one, sir. It's pragmatic, it's progressive, but, sir, the bill reflects the great work that the national government is doing in the regeneration of Christchurch. And it's a bill, sir, is that there's going to be a lot more of this, particularly when we look at the template. Because when iwi, sir, that are actually getting towards already have settled in treaty settlements, sir, they are looking at this and thinking, good old Ngāi Tahu again, look, they're actually leading the way because we have another opportunity here to use our RFR. So on that note, sir, kia ora, and I commend this bill to the House.